Morning, everyone. It is Saturday morning, day after Black Friday. I don't know if there's a name for that. My hiking partner and I came out. We're in Central Virginia in the George Washington National Forest. We lucked out last night and had the shelter all to ourselves. Absolutely nobody here. Very nice. We had, I might say, an extremely pleasant walk. Very nice hike. I say walk because it was, compared to the Maryland AT, it's kind of paved in gold around here. Rather than going up the mountain, down the mountain, the AT tends to go around the mountain. And that makes for a nice smooth and very few really severe ups and downs, at least in this present area. I'm just taking a walk down to our water source, which was very pleasant to hear last night. Nice babbling brook. You can see that here the trail is right there. Our shelter is right on the trail. Very nice. No bear poles. We're at the Brown shelter, but no bear poles, no bear box, so we had to hang a bear bag, which was fine. Frankly, I'm not so sure what the bear activity is here. It was extremely quiet. You don't really hear many birds. I think I heard one deer as we were hiking about 2 miles south of here. So, it was really nice. Don't know if you can hear the brook. I'll see if I can get down there without breaking my neck. So what I wanted to talk about was the absolute difference between through hiking and section hiking when it comes to cold weather camping. So, of course, we all know there's a huge difference between car camping, in which you pack up your car with 1,000 things and really great ideas that you found on Pinterest, and drive up to your campsite and park, pitch your tent for 6 people, and you don't worry about what anything weighs. You don't worry about gear because you're probably only staying a night or two. And then there's section hiking. For us section hikers, we have to generally drive to our spot. We park at location A. We hike out to location B, possibly hiking out the next day to location C, and then hike all the way back to location A. One of the issues I found with section hiking is that we don't necessarily get our trail legs. So, for instance, my hiking partner and I are older. We're not exactly in great shape. We're what you would consider an unlikely hiker. So we hike about 5 miles. We were pretty wiped out after our 5 miles of beautiful, easy trail. We got here, about an hour left of sunlight, which was fabulous. As section hikers, we were able to bring our cocktail and, cook a nice dinner. We had a nice dessert. We had time to gather firewood and find some really nice logs and have a roaring fire. Again, we had the shelter to ourselves, so we didn't have to worry about setting up our tent. We did hang a tarp about halfway across the front of the shelter just to shield from any wind, which it didn't make a difference in terms of temperature. I'm sure it would have in terms of wind. So, now the big difference between section hiking and through hiking is when you're through hiking, this stop off is simply to get shelter and rest. I think the ideal is that when you hike into one of these locations, you're going to be here within, 40 minutes, half an hour of sunset. You're going to pitch your tent. You're going to gather your wood. If you make a fire at all, you're going to grab something to eat, get inside your sleeping bag and get warm. It was very cold last night. I think it went down certainly into the 30s, possibly lower, I don't know. But it took quite a bit to keep us warm. We were very warm. I had a sleeping bag liner. I have a 30-degree bag. I have a Z-Lite closed cell foam, and I have a Neotherm Xtherm air mattress. I also have a Big Sky inflatable pillow. So I had all the comforts I could possibly have in my sleep system, and I was very warm. I did tend to lose heat through the top of my head. I was not wearing a hat, so I had difficulty with my mummy bag covering up the top of my head and woke up a little bit chilly. Once I put my hat on, I warmed right back up. So it was fine. My hiking partner, same, he sleeps hot, so he didn't need half of what I had. He just slept in his bag, which I believe is also a 30-degree bag. He has the closed cell foam pad, and that was it, and he was fine. We both had both had base layer on. His are Under Armour. Mine are cheap, $5.99 from Safeway. I don't know if they kept us equally warm, but mine was okay. All right, here's the problem. We get up in the morning and you're hanging around and you're contemplating making a fire, and we're making coffee, and he was sleeping in a little bit later, and so I'm sitting around waiting, and I get colder and colder and colder and colder. So I make my coffee, warm up a little bit. He gets up. Finally, we make our breakfast. Of course, again, as section hikers, we brought eggs and sausage. So we cooked our eggs and sausage. But, all this stuff that we're sitting around doing in the mornings does nothing but make us colder and colder and colder. So through hiking, yes, cold weather is no problem. Get in here, pitch your tent, eat what you got to eat. Keep warm in your sleeping bag, get up, get something to drink, and then start hiking. Once you're hiking, you're warm, and you're going to start, getting rid of some of these layers. Section hiking, no, we're thinking of it still as warm weather camping. We might have brought the gear for cold nights, but our mindset was still on the food, prepping the food, having a nice breakfast, making a fire at night. So it was not a pleasant experience in the morning, trying to keep warm, trying to keep my feet warm and my fingers warm. So that's really what I wanted to say on this video, because it's something I've never heard people talk about, through hiking versus section hiking. And this concept of through hiking, hike into your location, pitch your tent, grab something to eat, get in your bag. Wake up in the morning, grab something hot to drink, and get out of your bag and pack your stuff and move. And I think that, you're far better off that way. Section hiking would require, or more concentration on the meals, and the food would require a lot more gear, a lot more items to keep you warm. Probably not worth a 5-mile hike into a shelter and then in the following morning a 5-mile hike back to your car. So for those of you out there who are, not doing 27 miles a day, you're not 18 years old, and you don't have an ultralight 6-pound pack, here's some advice. Think about your cold weather. Think about what is your primary focus. Is it the hike, or is it the camping? And we discovered today that we have been focusing on the camping and not on the hike. So the next time we come out for a cold weather hike and we need to sleep out, we're going to rethink and probably post a video on the gear we're bringing. All right, everyone, I hope you're having a great Thanksgiving weekend, and I hope maybe some of my information helped. See you later.